Welcome back to Odyssey Astrology. In this video I'm going to talk about Jupiter. In Greek mythology, Jupiter was Zeus. So Jupiter is interesting because it represents very different qualities in some regard. It represents laws, human laws, social laws, which is what Zeus gives for the rest of the Greek pantheon. He commands. So Jupiter is kind of associated with politics in some aspects because it's connected to the laws. But where it gets interesting is that when we read about Zeus and we look at Greek mythology, he's always having a lot of fun too. He's even he tends to have affairs. He goes out. He's so expansive. It's hard for him to control himself, and so. Maybe in the sort of Greek morality for gods it was okay, but for us we look at his behavior and he's always having extramarital affairs. He's having children with a bunch of different women and nymphs and mortals, and we look at his behavior and we think, well, that's kind of strange for basically the person who's the king or the president of Olympus and all of Greek gods to be acting in that way. But it gives us insight into the paradoxical challenge represented by Zeus, because he's powerful and he's a leader, but he can also have a hard time containing himself because he's pure expansivity and creation and procreation. And so that's why Zeus is having all these children, because it's a creative energy. And so it gives us an insight into the necessity of balancing that with the discipline of Saturn. And those two planets form a pair because Saturn is the first chakra, which is the earth element, and Jupiter is the second chakra, which is the water element. Saturn is restrictive and disciplined, and it's even contractive. It makes us consolidate what we've learned and bring it deep inside of ourselves and process it. Whereas Jupiter wants more experiences, and it wants to experience the world and people and ideas and expand, even philosophically, because Jupiter is a planet of philosophy, which is expansive. It helps us to expand our mind and our ideas. But when we have that strong second chakra, which is enjoyment and creativity, we also need that discipline of the first chakra. And so a lot of people can have this strong Jupiter energy and enjoy it for a time, but then maybe when their Saturn return comes, they have to pay the piper, and they have to pay their debts for what they've done, because everything comes at a price. And if we enjoy things recklessly, like Jupiter is prone to do, we have to pay our debt for that. And so when Saturn comes, if we haven't lived with that balance to our expansivity, we tend to go through struggle and suffering in order that we bring it into balance. And then when people don't mature through their Saturn return, which is basically from 28 to 30, a lot of times they'll go through this second adolescence, which continues through their 30s and even 40s until their second Saturn return in their late 50s. And so yes, Jupiter is great, and it gives this color and joie de vivre and to life, and it helps us to enjoy things, and it's necessary. But normally it's easier to be out of balance towards the Jupiter side, and that's why I'm highlighting the importance of harnessing that energy with an equally strong ability for self-discipline. And when that happens, we bring these things into balance, and we're able to expand and create new ideas, but also to contract and to consolidate what we've done and learned and created.